Mughal Dynasty. Mughal Muslim dynasty of Turkic-Mongol origin that ruled most of northern India from the early 16th to the mid-18th century. After that time it continued to exist as a considerably reduced and increasingly powerless entity until the mid-19th century. The Mughal dynasty was notable for its more than 2 centuries of effective rule over much of India. A further distinction was the attempt of the Mughals, who were Muslims, to integrate Hindus and Muslims into a united Indian state. The dynasty was founded by a Chagatai Turkic prince named Babur, reigned 1526 to 1530, who was descended from the Turkic conqueror Timur, Tamerlan, on his father's side, and from Chagatai, second son of the Mongol ruler Genghis Khan, on his mother's side. Babur's father, Umar Sheikh Mirza, ruled the small principality of Fergana to the north of the Hindu Kush mountain range. Babur inherited the principality at a young age, in 1494. Babur was a charismatic leader and brilliant military strategist. Ousted from his ancestral domain in Central Asia in the early 1500s, Babur turned to India to satisfy his appetite for conquest. From his base in Kabul, Afghanistan, he was able to secure control of the Punjab region, and in 1526 he routed the forces of Delhi Sultan Ibrahim Lodi at the First Battle of Panipat. Babur went on to conquer much of northern India. As an administrator he created an unusually tolerant culture, embracing Persian, Mongol, and Indian influences, and encouraged international trade. Babur also designed magnificent gardens, was a gifted poet, and wrote a renowned autobiography, Baburnama. Babur is succeeded by his son Humayun, reigned from 1530 to 1540 and again from 1555 to 1556. Beset by enemies, Humayun was defeated by an Afghan soldier of fortune, Sher Shah of Sur, and was expelled from India in 1540. In 1544 Humayun received military backing from Shah Tahmasp of Iran and went on to conquer, in what is now Afghanistan, Kandahar, 1545, and to seize Kabul 3 times from his own disloyal brother, Kamran, the final time being in 1550. Humayun briefly recovered the Mughal throne in 1555 before dying the following year. His tomb in Delhi, considered the first Mughal architectural masterpiece, is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Humayun's son, Akbar, is considered the greatest of the Mughal emperors, reigning from 1556 until his death in 1605. Akbar was only 13 years of age when he ascended the throne but became a gifted military strategist and administrator. By combining diplomacy, royal marriage, and outright conquest, he greatly extended the Mughal Empire. Akbar understood that to govern so vast and socially complex a kingdom required a strong, tolerant, and enlightened government. He created a system of graduated ranks for both military and governmental posts that depended on his appointment. The emperor offered attractive careers to the most capable people in the empire, who in turn gave him their loyalty. This greatly reduced the threat of generals or leaders creating their own independent states. Akbar also reformed the financial system, tax assessment and collection, and communications networks. He encouraged open exchange among the cultures that made up his empire and took an active role in blending Western and Eastern arts, particularly in painting and architecture. Jahangir succeeded Akbar and reigned from 1605 until 1627. Jahangir continued many of his father's traditions, including tolerance toward other religions and cultures and using diplomacy as well as war to consolidate Mughal rule. However, he often seemed more interested in indulging his fondness for alcoholic drink and opium than in ruling his kingdom. Jahangir is acknowledged as an unmatched patron of Mughal painting. Shah Jahan, third son of Jahangir, ruled from 1628 to 1658. He is best remembered as the emperor who built the magnificent Taj Mahal as a mausoleum for his favorite queen, Mumtaz Mahal. Throughout his reign, Shah Jahan indulged his passion for building. After a series of military setbacks, he transferred his capital from Agra to Delhi. The Mughal dynasty achieved its cultural zenith under his rule, particularly in architecture, literature, and the arts. However, his building programs and unwise military expeditions drained the Mughal treasury. Aurangzeb reigned from 1658 to 1707. Under his skilled but ruthless leadership, the Mughal Empire reached its greatest size, encompassing nearly the entire Indian subcontinent. Aurangzeb spent the first part of his reign occupied with protecting his kingdom from the Persians, Central Asian Turks, and Maratha chiefs. He initially followed Akbar's example of reconciling with defeated enemies and then placing them in his imperial service. Beginning about 1680, however, Aurangzeb's reign underwent a change of both attitude and policy. He treated Hindus as subordinates, reinstituted a poll tax on non-Muslims, and issued increasingly puritanical laws governing public morals. These policies provoked widespread rebellions and resistance to Mughal rule and eventually contributed to the empire's downfall. From 1719 to 1803, over this period of time, the empire begins to break up under the combined pressures of dynastic warfare, sectional rivalries, and attacks by various warlords and invaders. In 1803, the British East India Company assumes control over Delhi, the last remaining Mughal territory. The last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah II, reigns from 1837 to 1857. He figures briefly, and unwillingly, in the Indian Mutiny of 1857. During the mutiny, rebel troops from the city of Meerut seize Delhi and compel Bahadur Shah to accept nominal leadership of the revolt. After the rebellion is put down by the British, Bahadur Shah is exiled to Burma, Myanmar with his family. His removal marks the end of the Mughal Empire.